It's time to look ahead to the game between the Rajasthan Royals and the Punjab Kings. We've got to get used to saying that now. This is ESPN Cricket Info T20 Timeout, powered by Intel. I'm Ronak Kapoor, and Sanjay Manjrekar and Dale Steyn are all set to join me. Dale, our first point to preview this game is Morris. Can he step up in the absence of Jofra Archer? He needs to lead this bowling lineup.
He's just that big personality when it comes to the ball. He's already a big personality within that dressing room. I can promise you that. He'll walk in, he'll just assert himself amongst the players, and everyone will feel like this is the guy that we can back to do the business for us. So without Joff there, I'm certain that Chris will step up and do the job.
Yeah, I mean, injury is always a concern. He has to start this season. They need him for literally every game now, Sanjay. And Morris, you could say, did bowl pretty well. In fact, the best he might have bowled last season in the IPL.
Yes, missed a few games at the beginning, but when he played, I mean, he was sensational. Even the numbers that he eventually ended up were very impressive before injuries again, came back to haunt him. So while he's fit and 100%, I think they should look to make full use of Chris Morris.
All right. Now, Rajasthan have another few calls to make, and they did surprise us last year with the way they kept changing their opening partnership. Sanjay, should they open with both Stokes and Buttler, which is a bit of the murmur that we're hearing from the franchise, or should it be one of them, and if so, which one?
For me, it's always been a no-brainer with Buttler. It was a shame, and it really was something that I got really upset about last season when they pushed Buttler down the order to accommodate Ben Stokes at the top. I think Buttler should open. That's where he's been just brilliant for Rajasthan Royals, and that doesn't mean that Stokes has to go down the order. So I'd like to see Rajasthan Royals adopt the philosophy that English cricket have done with Stokes in T20 cricket, give him as many overs as possible. So why get bogged down by having two of your top class batsmen batting at the top? Have them at the top, and try and start off the game, putting that kind of pressure on the opposition. So I would like to suggest Ben Stokes and Buttler as openers and Samson at number 3.
Wow, okay. Dale, would you go with that? Put both your big guns at the top of the order?
Yeah, I'd put them both up there. I think Butler's amazing as an opening batter. That's where he should be batting for any team that he plays for. He can manipulate the field so well in the first 6 overs. He's got every shot in the book, lap, you name it. And I think he'll be most effective there. And then with Ben, you could Stokes, you could put him up there. He's a left-handed batter. He's an aggressive batsman. He can hit the ball a long way. So he can kind of do a similar job to Buttler, but more of a power player.
Now, Punjab, can they potentially play 2 leg spinners in this 11, Sanjay? They did play both Murugan Ashwin and Ravi Bishnoi for a large part of last season. This is at the Wankhede, of course. What are your thoughts? Can they fit in both leg spinners?
They should, and I think they will. We've seen finger spinners struggle at the Wankhede Stadium. And if they have to bowl second by any chance at the Wankhede Stadium, the finger spinner becomes a bit of a liability. So yes, they must play both. Both of them are very good. Both are good enough to be commanding a place in that side. And it's happened before as well. So, yes.
Not too many teams possess the chance of playing 2 leg spinners. Punjab are one of them. You'd put both in?
Yeah, why not? Wrist spinners are kind of mystery spinners, anyway. They've got all those kind of googlies and flippers and everything like that. And they're wicket takers. And I think at some place like the Wankhede, where it's a high-scoring ground, they might go for runs. But the best way to slow down the runs is to take wickets, and the spinners are the guys that the players are going to take. They're going to go after these guys. But mystery spinners seem to always get wickets. And it's maybe what CSK lacked last night in an Imran Tahir. So why not give them both a crack?
All right. Now, the Rajasthan Royals, they set up in a way where their 4 overseas would include 2 overseas fast bowlers. They don't have Jofra Archer, we know that. So, Dale, who comes in for him for now? Would you rather go Andrew Tye or Mustafizur Rahman?
That's a tough one. I mean, I like Mustafizur. I think he just brings something different. His left arm, his slower ball is not your normal slower ball. It's like a quick slow ball. And strangely enough, it grips more than most people think it does. And he's a wicket taker. If you look at his stats, his economy rate is low, and he takes a lot of wickets. Andrew, on the other hand, he's got a different kind of slower ball, not as quick as Mustafizur. So his bounce is not going to be as effective. And at a place like Wankhede, if you just don't have the pace or that big change of skill like Mustafizur does, you might travel the distance. So I'd probably go with Mustafizur just tonight.
All right. And is it a toss-up between the 2 of them, Sanjay, or is there a chance that they could play an Indian seamer like Unadkat and maybe play another overseas, either a David Miller or Liam Livingston. Would you go that route, or is it going to be one of Tayyar Mustafizur for sure?
You're a mind reader, Ronak. You expected that, right? Maybe Sanjay might have some kind of a radical suggestion, or Sachin Tendulkar called me Mr. Different, who wants to be different. But no, I gave it a lot of thought. What difference does it make if you have an Indian seamer like a Tyagi in place of an Andrew Tye? These are guys not in the Archer category where they walk in, and if you got Chris Morris, back him to be the game changer with seam. And I'd like to suggest Liam Livingston. We saw him in India. He's played in India recently. There's something about him, Ronak. It's just that feeling you get when you see a player that this guy can, become a big star in the future. He's got a good attitude on the field, can give you a couple of overs as well. So my choice of a foreign player for Rajasthan Royals is Liam Livingston. And they might as well go with an Indian seamer because they don't have too many exciting foreign seam bowling options barring Chris Morris.
All right. And finally, the eternal question whenever Punjab commence with the season. Let me put it as a question and not a statement. Rather than Rahul should play conservatively, aggressively, freely, etc. How should KL Rahul play?
He should just go out there and just bat. It doesn't matter whether he wins the orange cap or not. When he gets going, he's going to score runs, and that should be the least of his concerns.
It's incidental that he ends up accumulating lots of runs. He just chooses a style of play which he thinks is still going to result in Punjab wins. Now, is that something that he needs to reassess?
No, he can do the same thing actually. He can have a high aggregate of runs and the strike rate could still be 140, 150. He has that ability and he's done that in the IPL. I think last season, I don't know whether because he was captain, he batted in that fashion, but we saw many instances where KL Rahul's natural game would have been more suited. There were a lot of chases that they took their time. It was really difficult for me to see Mayank Agarwal outscore somebody like a KL Rahul. So I would want him to play like a player, like he's not the captain and the weight of the world is not on his shoulder. There are enough batsmen down the order that can do the job. So I'd like to see KL Rahul striking at least at 140, if not 150, because he has that kind of ability.
All right, Sanjay Dale, thank you very much. That wraps up a rather entertaining and exhaustive preview to this game between Rajasthan and Punjab on ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Intel.